What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P. We're back here once again. You already know what time it is. Um, I have no idea what is going on with the camera, and I will try to fix that. Um, yes, I did turn it off and turn it back on. What up, though? Will Murray, what up, though, Tactical Sport? Um, we'll see what we can do here, but I just wanted to come on and let you guys know that whatever these technical difficulties are, we will get through them. Um, so we can just for a bit in that task. Okay. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know why. It's basically just refusing to start. Um, it's just kind of hanging up. Alrighty. It shouldn't be an issue where I have to restart the computer because everything else is working just fine. So, all right. So we have done the task manager. Let's try it one more time. If it doesn't come on this time, all right, maybe I got an inkling that it might come on. The little birdie told me that it might come on. We shall see. All right, I'm gonna wait for a minute. Um, did I unplug it and plug it back in? No. I may need to do that though. This is quite ridiculous. Quite ridiculous. All right. Let's see. I will do that. That'll be my last gasp attempt. And then if that doesn't work, then I will just restart the computer and come back. Or boot it into safe mode. So it gave me the option to run it in safe mode. So let's see what happens in safe mode if it goes into safe mode. Um, lights, action, no camera. I feel you. I feel you. All right, let's see. Boy. No, it don't look like it's gonna work. So I will restart the computer and I will be right back momentarily. All right, what is up, though, Lions fans? We are live from the garage, basically. So it is what it is, and we had the technical difficulties. We had to do what we had to do to get it on and get it popping. So I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. I might have to run and get a charger, um, but I just wanted to go live. I don't know. I'm going to eventually have to get a new computer because this, it is what it is. It's older, it may have had its day. So, we not in the studio right now. We in the basement. We in the garage. But when you see me in front of TV, one thing's for certain and three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats, not none of that static. And number three, perhaps the most important number of them all, number three. We want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking yourself, how, Don, how, Mr. P, does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple. I'm glad you asked. And I will tell you. Smash like button, subscribe, share. Once you've done these things, you have indeed kept your Lions news pragmatic. And who should you share with? You should share with your peoples. Once you share this with your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, sisters, cousins, your uncles, sisters, your brothers, you name it, you have indeed cared about those people. We got some things to talk about. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Matthew Stafford stuff. We're gonna talk about it because he's talking. And we're gonna read the transcript of what he said in this interview. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell was asked about the linebackers and their role in allowing the defensive line to play free and rush the passer. I don't know how many of y'all keep receipts. I'm not keeping receipts, but just do you remember me telling you before the Dallas game that we were going to have to change our philosophy from you earn the right to rush the passer? Does anybody remember me saying this? Because I said this, you have to change the philosophy from earning the right to rush the passer. It is stupid. It is not something you have to earn the right to do. Brother, you must rush the passer. There is not a situation in the NFL in which you can get away without rushing the passer. We've lost 5 games primarily because we haven't been able to rush the passer. Everyone thought Dallas is coming in to Detroit. They're hot. They won 3 in a row. Blah, 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 blah. Dak Prescott is one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, cool. Guess what happened? We sacked him 5 times. Because you know what we did? We said, Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, you got this. When they are running the football, we're going straight ahead. We're going to be aggressive. Our outlook, this mentality, okay? And I was going to talk about this earlier this week, but I didn't get a chance to talk about it because not Barry versus, but, the Barry and the Gibbs comparisons and then the Stafford versus Goff. So I didn't get to talk about that. But it's a shift in mentality, man. That's exactly what they did. They shifted their mentality. They said, hey, we're not just going to run in and rush the pass and just, hey, sell out to stop the run. Because it's not working. So shout out to Dan Campbell. Shout out to Coach Shep. Shout out to recognizing that. Now, can you do that for every opponent? Probably not. But the Rams are probably an opponent that you can do that to, right? The Rams will gas you in the running game if you allow them to, but no, who's afraid of Kyren Williams? Who's afraid of Kyren Williams? Who's afraid of Blake Corum? Right? Can they break off big games if they have the holes? Yes, they can. Right? But I'm not going into this game like, man, Kyren Williams has a fumbling problem. And it seems that Blake Corum will put some on the ground too. Shout out Blake Corum, Michigan man. Shout out Sharon Moore, man. Shout out Sharon Moore. We don't talk much college football in this situation, but shout out to Sharon Moore and his inability to keep it in his pants. Shout out to Sharon Moore because he was a terrible head coach. And he made it easy for Michigan. Michigan did not have to find anything. They didn't have to dig anything up. It was just easy. There was a whistleblower. There was an investigation. He was found to be smashing his personal assistant. He was found to have, once he started smashing, raised her salary by 55%, increased her salary, and then he was found to have gotten her pregnant, allegedly, possibly, who knows, whatever the case may be. My man was married, okay? And it is what it is. I mean, look, I don't know the status of his marriage, but I know that there's a lot of basketball wives, there's a lot of football wives, there's a lot of coaches' wives that stick around. Okay? They stick around. Now, if he had a prenup, if he didn't have a prenup, I don't know what he got. Maybe she sticks around, maybe she doesn't. That's her choice. Her body, her choice. I don't really care. But shout out to Sharon Moore for getting fired so that we can get a coach in there that could at least develop Bryce Underwood if he's interested in staying. Because I didn't watch the Ohio State game. I was watching, so before I went to sleep, I was watching the score, right? I was just watching the score. And then it was 6-3. It was 6-0 Michigan. Then it was 6-3 Michigan. Then it was 6-9 or 6-6. Then it was 6-9. Once it was 6-9, I was like, okay, that's it. Game's over. Right? Because then they scored a touchdown or something like that, or it was something like that. But I was like, the game's over because you can't score. Your offense is terrible. Okay? But anyway, so shout out to Sharon Moore. I appreciate you, my brother. Continue not keeping it in your pants. Continue doing what you got to do in life to move on. But you moved on. All right. So again, back to the original topic at hand. I'm not particularly afraid of Kyren Williams. I'm not particularly afraid of Blake Corum. I'm not, because why? Afraid for what? Afraid for who? Why am I afraid? Right? So I think this is a game this week in which you have an opponent who likes to pass the football. You have an opponent who has Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, right? You have an opponent who likes to stretch the field, who likes to spread the ball around. You have an opponent who likes to have time in the pocket, who likes to stay clean. And you have an opponent who has a back. Supposedly, I don't know. There's something, I don't know what went on this season when he was supposed to have a bad back, but who knows? I think what you need to do is the same thing that you did against Dak. You got to turn them boys loose up front. You got to turn them loose up front, right? They can stop the run on the way to the passer. That's fine. Okay? Or they can let the linebackers clean it up and they're just running through, okay? And that's what they were doing this week. Okay? You're already now in that time frame. Remember, I told you guys this. I said towards the end of the year, it's the garbage truck. This is the garbage truck that's supposed to come at 6 a.m. It's now 12 p.m. That's how they do things in Australia. They don't do things on time. Okay? So they got us putting our garbage bins outside, right, at night because they used to come at 6 a.m. And if you missed it, your trash was just there for another week. But now they come at 11 a.m. They come at 12 p.m. There's no set time. So we just keep putting our bins out there at night for no reason because they're not coming. Anyway, Look, I think you got to turn these boys loose. I think you got to, everybody that you got on that line that rushes the passer, Aleem McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, supposedly Marcus Davenport. That's what I've been told. AQM, everybody that's on that line that rushes the passer needs to be targeting Matthew Stafford. Not targeting him like hitting him in the head, but they need to have him in his sights or in their sights. And that's what needs to happen. Let me get to your comments, and then I will get to this interview that Matthew Stafford gave. All right. Wouldn't have this problem if you would just get a Mac. Well, listen, no. What up, the Dynamite? So it says, so glad you went live. I literally just got done watching the Stafford interview on Rich Eisen. Go Lions. Hey, Dolo Dynamite. It's gonna be so much better when the Bears get him out of there when they don't actually win anything. Like always. What up, though, Britt DeWitt? Let's see here. Oh, he was arrested. Oh my God. Wow, bro. That is crazy. What did he get arrested for? Damn, I didn't know cheating was a felony. Did he get arrested for abuse of power or something? Yo, that is crazy. That is crazy. Shout out Sharon Moore. You are done. And listen, it's a lot of people that are gonna look at of, hey, this is bigger than football. No, my guy, he like publicly cheated on his wife. You know what I'm saying? So when you put your life out there like that, I mean, you screwed up your job, you screwed up your family, you screwed up everything. But and we just need to worry right now with the Bears. The Bears will get it. Yeah, Dolo Dynamite. I'm in Australia. I've been here. 1000% turn these boys loose, send the dogs, and get to Stafford, or he will dice any team up. Only way to win is to disrupt plays, get a turnover, maybe, and then score some points on defense, 25 plus points. Well, Kirby Joseph has been back at practice. And Dan Campbell said, we'll see if he can string some practices together. So he's strung practices together. So we'll just see if it is, his time to shine. All them boys need to play with their hair on fire. Facts. Yeah, that's it was probably something because it was some workplace stuff. Yeah, this stuff has been rolling out I guess all evening, right? It's been like he was fired. Oh, the chick's name is this. Here's her picture. Oh, he's got more chicks. He's got a bunch of chicks. Oh, he got her pregnant. Oh man, he's been arrested. Like, bruh, it's like Diddy on steroids. Something. Man, that man did a speed run at ruining his life. Facts, a speed run for sure. All right. Now let's get into this article that we have. Oh, yeah. Shout out. The Lions have been informed that they will be playing an international game in 2026. So probably Germany. The Lions claim an ex-Texans DB off the waivers. Isn't that fantastic? DeMonte KZ. No, that because this is the same person. Let me see who they got. Um, so y'all can all be very excited because the Lions got a safety. Oh, it's Jalen Mills. Um, yeah, I'm not moved. You know what I mean? I'm not moved at all. Um, Christian has been opened. Door is open for right now. Let me get to that because that's a new wrinkle. Obviously, if Frank Ragnar wants to come back next year, the door is open. Let's see what we have here. Door is always open for Frank Ragnar to return. Okay, yeah, picked up in his training. He's been training the whole time, but unfortunately, it didn't go that route. I'm not disappointed at all. It's just unfortunately he had that. What was it? A grade 3 or whatever it turned out to be. Fraley told reporters he just thought it was a little tweak. That's how tough he was. I need to get a drink. And that's how tough he was when he played here. Fraley did not have discussions with Ragnar regarding his playing tenure, but indicated that the door was always open for his return in 2026 should he decide to make another comeback. Well, you know what? Here's the thing that I need for Frank Ragnar to do. I need Frank Ragnar to inform the team, um, you know, very, very early on in the process. The NFL on Clutch Points puts out an article that says why Lions have no chance to slow down Matthew Stafford Rams offense in week 15. Let's see. I gotta find the article again. All right. All right. Okay, here it is. Texas Tech's edge is popular mock draft target for the NFL for the Detroit Lions. Why? Until Melvin pulls the trigger on drafting the edge, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. We good. So says Dan Campbell. Lions. Let me see if I can get that in. No. Okay. No, we don't have on the Chromebook. We don't have the split screen. Okay. Said she was from Ohio. That's a felony, LMFAO. All right. Of course, I do have to go get the charger, so I shall be right back. 1 second. All righty. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, I got let's see. All right, we good. Let's remove. Cool. All right, we back, man. We in the stew. We back in the stew. All right. So let's see. Firecraft says she was from Ohio. That's a felony LMFAO. So word on the street is that he broke into her house and threatened her. Wow. Oh, wow. Bruh. Bruh. I just want y'all to just picture this. This is a lesson. This is a lesson that I want everyone to just understand. Okay? If this is true, I just want you to think no matter how bad your life gets, no matter what you're going through, whether you're going through a divorce, whether you're going through, you know, an illness, a mystery illness, whether you're going through an illness, whether you're going through something at home, I don't know. It could be worse. You could be Sharon Moore. You could be Sharon Moore. That, wow, this is amazing. So not only does the man lose his job, not only does he get publicly outed as an adulterer, not only does he get publicly outed as the baby daddy of this chick, not only does he get publicly outed as a person that pays for pleasure when it's his personal assistant increasing her salary, this man breaks into her house to threaten her after all of this stuff is out and then gets arrested. Wow. That is insane. That is freaking insane. That is wow. Man, the Panthers beat them. I don't even want to hear it. Oh, why we can't stop them? Home invasion, bro. What is this? Like, what is brother? Was he a high? Was he on PCP? What was he on? Hold on. Let's go back to this one. Let's go back to this comment. Because it was very, very accurate. All right, I got it. Here we go. Here we go. This is the comment. Man, that man did a speed run at ruining his life. This is the comment of the day. Sharon Moore, take heed. Take heed, my God. This is crazy. Washington, I'm not gonna play. Woo, boy, have his troubles just gotten more. Anyway, let's get back to the Detroit Lions. All right. Now I got to get back to that article again. I'm pretty sure I know where it is now. That's crazy, bro. That is absolutely insane. That man did that. That is wow. Just wow. I don't know. I don't have other words other than wow. That's my working theory right now. This is the word wow. Um, all right, we're gonna split the views. Um, okay. All right. So Matthew Stafford opens up about facing Detroit Lions. This is from Vito Chirco, Detroit Lions on SI. It says ex Detroit Lions passer Matthew Stafford is happy to see his former team flourishing. Lies, all lies. Don't believe it, Detroit Lions fans. These are lies. Earlier this week, on the Let's Go podcast with longtime reporter Jim Gray, the LA Rams signal caller reflected on what it means to face the Lions. The team that drafted him number one overall in 2009 relied heavily on him for 12 seasons and ultimately moved on from him. No, we didn't move on from him. He asked out. Okay, let's not paint the narrative in a light that it shouldn't be painted in. He asked out. He tapped out. He did the Anthony Richardson. Okay. He did the Anthony Richardson. In the conversation, Stafford, who has emerged as one of the front runners for this season's NFL MVP award, didn't shy away from the overwhelming narrative that has followed the 2021 blockbuster trade that both the Rams and the Lions won the deal. Obviously, I'm happy to be where I am, and I feel like the Lions obviously have capitalized on a lot of the picks and players that they were able to acquire in that trade, Stafford told Gray. Their franchise is as good as it's been ever in the last handful of years. So, two successful teams, really good coaches, good football programs at the moment. And yeah, it looks like one that both sides got what they were looking for out of it. And I think as time goes on, we'll keep looking back on it saying the same thing because it seems to have worked out for both teams. It's hard to argue with that sentiment. Jared Goff, originally viewed as a throw-in in the front. I told you I should have got a drink. In the franchise-altering trade, has experienced a career resurgence in the Motor City and has key Detroit's transformation into a winning football team. The Lions went from 1-6 at the halfway point in 2022 to a 9-8 team by season's end. They then followed that up with a 12-5 record and an NFC title, North title in 2023, and a franchise best 15.2 mark, 15 and 2 mark, and a second consecutive division crown in 2024. And Goff has had his fingerprints all over the franchise's return to relevance. Why not mention that we got to the NFC Championship game? I don't know. That's kind of weird to leave that out when you're talking about accomplishments. But anyway, along with acquiring Goff, the Lions also attained several valuable draft assets as part of the blockbuster deal, notably first-round picks in 2022 and 2023, which turned into franchise cornerstones Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams. Those players, like Goff, have served as integral pieces in Detroit's rise to prominence. Meanwhile, Stafford delivered immediately on the Rams' vision for him, guiding Sean McVay's team to a Super Bowl victory in his debut season with the franchise. Fast forward to the 2025 campaign, and Stafford, now 37 years old, is playing some of the best football of his career. He's thrown for an NFL leading 35 touchdowns and the fourth most yards in the league, 3,354. Plus, he's recorded the fifth best QBR, 68.8. As for whether Stafford feels like Detroit wasted his prime years, he dismissed the notion entirely. No, because we were all trying. The longtime NFL pastor said, oh, they were trying. And sometimes it just doesn't work. We had some years that were good and thought we had some things going, and we had some other years that were obviously not up to par. His comments reflect the same high degree of professionalism he displayed throughout the entirety of his Lions tenure. Stafford set a variety of franchise records during his time with the Lions, including throwing for 282 touchdowns and 45,109 yards in 165 total games and losing 100 of them. Yet the organization enjoyed very little success during his stint in Detroit because, as I said, losing 100 of them. The Lions made just 3 playoff appearances and failed to win a single playoff game, also failed to win a single division. Um, Despite that being the case, Stafford continues to refuse to engage in finger pointing for why things went awry. Well, because if you're pointing one finger, you got 4 fingers or three, well, 3 fingers pointing back at you. 1, 2, 3. They're all one. Oh, ooh, that's me. Ooh, ooh, damn. Damn, damn, damn. You're right. That's why. What up, though, Mr. Morale 313? He says, I was just another guy who was in that building doing everything they could to try and help us win, and it didn't happen. He said, but my career was no more important than anybody else's that was out there working their tail off for us to be good. Stafford and the NFC leading Rams 10-3 are set to square off with the Lions Sunday at 4:25 p.m. Eastern at SoFi Stadium. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. You know you got somebody that you blaming Matthew Stafford other than yourself, right? Other than yourself. That's 20 years. He probably not going to get 20 years though, bro. He probably not going to get 20. I would doubt very seriously that he would get 20 years. That's, you know. Um yeah, I don't think he's getting 20 years. He'll have to plea out. What up, though, Mr. Morale 313? All right. What up, though, Lisa? Um, who's Sharon Moore? Well, that's gonna be the yeah. That's what we're all gonna be saying in a few years. Stafford didn't take a pay cut to help build a team. He cap, he full of ish. That's right. Was all in on Stafford after the one arm TD. You ask, you leave the D done. I think that's where all of our fandom was the highest on Stafford that it could be. Um, I'll have to admit I was a fan of the guy once that happened. But again, that was in his rookie season, yes. So I don't make too much of a point to um call people busts and stuff like that as soon as they hit the league. Even somebody like JJ McCarthy, who's complete cheeks. I'm not calling him a bust yet. Caleb Williams, I didn't call him a bust last year. But I documented all the problems with Caleb Williams that were going to be there. And and they're still there, you know. And that's going to be, but they're getting there's a lot of freaking stuff that I just tried to turn down that it just wouldn't let me turn down. It's crazy when you try to turn something down and you put everything on mute, but an app just overrides everything that you're doing. It's wild, actually. Um, but yeah, this is cap for Matthew Stafford. This is spin. Don't believe it, guys. Do not get sucked into this. Do not believe the hype. They fired the brother and then he got arrested. They must have been really mad about that loss to Oh Hell No State. Oh no, he got arrested because he did some dumb stuff. He definitely did some dumb stuff. Um, let's see here. What's the time? Not knowing who Sharon Moore is an atrocity if you're in the state of Michigan. Yeah, I think she was being facetious. Now he got his assistant pregnant, and then he broke into her apartment after getting fired. Yeah, so that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to get out of here on the time that I was actually supposed to start. We had technical difficulties. which is why we could not have started right away like we were supposed to. Um, but I gotta go make some money. So this has been a bit of a shorter one, but I got to go. Um, we'll be back here on Friday. We'll preview the game, break it down, and all that stuff. Uh, he took the loss very hard. He broke into the apartment to threaten her because I don't know. Maybe he didn't know this stuff was out. I don't know. Or maybe he broke into the apartment before this stuff came out and he's just now getting arrested. Uh appreciate you. Hope the DL makes him feel very every one of his 37 years old as facts. It's facts. All right, y'all. I gotta go ahead and get out of here. This was a wild and crazy show because most of it was not a show, but we'll get it taken care of. All right, once again, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your lines news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.